So, folks, one of the things that we should talk about today is that there's a whole lot of awful stuff happening in the world right now. But there's also a couple good things that let us know that maybe in the future things might be able to get a little bit better. So, we're going to start off with this clip of Donald Trump talking with Caitlin Collins in the White House reporter press pool. Let's just see how this goes. Okay, she's about to ask him about the Epstein situation, and let's just see how he responds to that, shall we? Also, he's not looking too good, guys. His eyes look like they want to jump out of their sockets.
This, Mr. President.
Something that people care about. Yeah, what did you say? Go ahead.
What would you say to the survivors who feel
you are the worst reporter. No wonder CNN has no ratings because of people like you. You know, she's a young woman. I don't think I've ever seen you smile. I've known you for 10 years. I don't think I've ever seen a smile in your face. You know why? You know why you're not smiling? Because you know you're not telling the truth, and you're a very dishonest organization, and they should be ashamed of you. Okay, go ahead.
You mentioned health care, and the bill that was just passed does not include your health care.
He's being asked about the survivors of a man known as his best friend, who was one of the most prolific, notorious maybe would be a better word, child sex traffickers of the modern era. And in response to being asked about the victims of this man, he tells the reporter, "You're a young woman. You should smile more." And like, I know the thrust of this segment is not that Donald Trump's brain is soup, but like, this is soup brain, you know? Like, he's not even capable of doing his own damage control at this point. Like, he's fucking psychotic. Like, you're being asked about sex trafficking victims, and your response is to call the person asking you a young girl and tell her that she needs to smile more. It's one of the most tone deaf and like grotesque things I've seen in a long time. Okay? It's crazy. Like, aside from the fact of how utterly repulsive it is to respond to someone asking about the victims of sex trafficking in this way, it is just shocking. Anyway, here is JD Vance being asked about this very moment between Caitlin Collins and Donald Trump, because JD Vance went on the Megyn Kelly show, and well, here's how he responded.
I mean, like, there was a moment in the Oval Office, I wasn't even in there, but, you know, I was in the West Wing, and somebody sent me where he was talking to Caitlin Collins, who's the CNN anchor. And I have like a decent relationship with Caitlin Collins, which is unusual given that she's from CNN. But the president, she's asking a question. The president says, "Why don't you ever smile?"
Yeah.
And it's actually like so perceptive. Even if you're asking a tough question, even if you take your job very seriously, like, why does it always have to be so antagonistic?
Well, I laughed because I saw online everybody was calling him sexist for saying that. And I literally said the same thing about Caitlin Collins a year ago on my show. She never smiles. Yes. Every once in a while, you have to smile. Roger Ailes used to tell us that. Every once in a while, you can remember to smile, show the viewers that you have a heart.
Have some fun.
There are so many things wrong with this less than a minute long clip. So, number one, JD Vance clearly got sent this clip so that he could go and do damage control, right? And he's just like, yeah, I mean, like, it's so perceptive. Like, just have some fun while doing your job. Haha, it definitely wasn't about her being a woman. And, you know, Megyn Kelly has the memo here, and she says, what does she say here?
Like, why does it always have to be so antagonistic?
Well, I laughed because I saw online everybody was calling him sexist for saying that.
Yeah, everyone's calling him sexist for saying that. What do you mean? Why would anyone call the man who said, what did he say about Megyn Kelly exactly? Trump quote, Megyn Kelly. Let's just, can we take a look back at Donald Trump's comments here. Let's just go down good old memory trail here. Let's see. Okay, during Thursday's presidential debate, Kelly pressed Trump about misogynistic, sexist comments he's made in the past, such as calling some women fat pigs, dogs, slobs, and disgusting animals. And Trump said, "You could see there was blood coming out of her eyes. Blood coming out of her whatever." You know, the guy who is accusing the woman asking him questions of having of being on her period in like the grossest possible way ever. And yeah, but Megyn Kelly, how could someone like that possibly make a sexist comment? It's just, it really goes to show how full of shit all of these people are. But it gets even worse here, right? Because Megyn Kelly then goes on.
I literally said the same thing about Caitlin Collins a year ago on my show. She never smiles. Every once in a while, you have to smile. Roger Ailes used to tell us that.
Yeah, Roger Ailes used to tell us that. Roger Ailes? The man who has an entire section of his Wikipedia dedicated to allegations of sexual harassment? Oh, wow. In a book published in 2014, Gabriel Sherman alleged that in the 1980s, Ailes offered a television producer a raise if she would sleep with him. Okay, in 2016, former Fox News anchor Gretchen Carlson filed a sexual harassment lawsuit against Ailes. Carlson's allegations were the impetus for more than a dozen female employees at 21st Century Fox to step forward regarding their own experiences with Ailes' behavior. Carlson alleged she'd been fired for rebuffing Ailes' advances. But, I mean, clearly, Megyn Kelly, Roger Ailes would have been a paragon of non-misogynistic behavior, telling women to smile more. It's gross on so many levels, because also, let's just return back to J.D. Vance again for a moment. And I want to remind you all, Caitlin Collins was asking a question about the survivors of Jeffrey Epstein. J.D. Vance's response is, hey, smile more because you need to let people know you're having fun. Why on earth, when asking about people who were sexually taken advantage of as children, would you... Why on earth would you be smiling to show that it's not that it's a fun situation you're in? Why would you do that? And, like, this is what keeps getting me, right? Like, these people are, like, inhuman monsters. And, like, the worldview they put out, even to defend themselves, where they're the good guys, they're inhuman monsters. And, like, I just want to remind folks that all of this is true because, guess what? There is a possibility that in the future a better world is possible where these people do not have the ability to ruin all of our lives, right? Specifically, a world where, you know, the Olympic Committee has to beg the folks coming to the Olympics not to boo J.D. Vance. And, you know, the better world exists where, you know, the people who go to the Olympics boo J.D. Vance. And guess what? We are starting to live in that better world right now. Here's a clip.
In an individual sport, what an honor for her.
There is the Vice President, J.D. Vance, and his wife, Usha. Ooh, those are not, those are a lot of boos for him. Whistling, jeering, some applause.
Yeah. So he got booed. He got booed at the Olympics. Yep. And you know, it's just a reminder that there's some justice in the world. But you know, justice is so foreign, or even like the semblance of judgment based on the horrific decisions these people make on a daily basis are so foreign to those in power that they genuinely cannot grasp how someone would even dislike them.
They're doing a great job.
Did you see that the Vice President got booed during the opening ceremony, though? What do you make of that sort of frosty... The Vice President got booed during the opening ceremony. What do you make of that frosty...
No, I didn't see that. Is that true? Is that right?
Yeah.
That's surprising because people like him. Well, I mean, he is in a foreign country, in all fairness, but he doesn't get booed in this country.
Is there a particular sport?
They're doing it.
One, he absolutely does get booed in this country, and two, like, and just in case you've forgotten that this man does in fact get booed and mocked in this country, just a little reminder for y'all. One of my all-time favorite clips of anything ever. Here's JD Vance on his way to Shake Shack.
Oh look, it's Couch Fucker. You gonna fuck a couch, buddy?
Right here. Do not go past the couch.
Mr. Vice President, Pussy Lord. Go fuck a couch. Go fuck a couch, JD Vance. Go fuck a couch.
Yeah, no one would ever boo JD Vance. No one would ever make fun of my cherub-faced child. No, sir. But Trump just doesn't get it. Trump just doesn't even get it. And I also want to say that there is some semblance of justice in the world. It might not be on our timeline, and it might not be in the way we would like it or to the degree we'd like it, but it is nice to be reminded sometimes that bad guys are in fact bad and will reap some, consequences from being just the worst motherfuckers. It's nice to know that, for example, folks in Las Vegas will see this pint-sized little would-be Himmler and say, no, we don't want you in our bar, get the fuck out, and throw him out of their bar. It is nice that Greg Bovino can't, just go have a drink in peace. Days after being removed from his post in Minneapolis, Bovino headed to Sin City, where he was spotted drinking wine at the multi-level Bottled Blonde sports bar on the Las Vegas Strip. A representative from the establishment told the Daily Beast that the 55-year-old officer is no longer welcome there. Upon becoming aware of the individual's presence, the patron was asked to leave the premises and was escorted out by staff in accordance with venue policy to maintain a safe and orderly environment for all patrons. So, I just, it's nice to know that maybe bad guys get some degree of comeuppance, even if it is minor. Of course, we should be demanding more accountability from every single one of these folks, right? And I want to also just share this with you guys. Y'all remember a few weeks ago a white nationalist, just deranged white nationalist came to town, made a big deal about how there was going to be a white nationalist rally down the center of Minneapolis streets. And him and 10 other losers showed up and just got absolutely mogged by the crowd of counter protesters. And here he is continuing to try and be a little shit in my city.
President Trump, we support you. We support ICE. Our country was made for Americans, not for Somalis. Pro-ICE, baby! America first, America only! We'll see you here, February 7th, Saturday, 12 noon, outside the Minnesota State Capitol.
So this guy, Jack Lang, right? He came to Minnesota, tried to stir some trouble up, and instead got his shit rocked. And he's still around trying to cause trouble. And so he went to the state capitol, where there was an art installation made out of ice, carved into in the letters of "Prosecute ICE," and kicked it down. Right now, something really important you should know is that sculpture was legally permitted to be displayed on state property, meaning that effectively he just vandalized state property, which and destroyed state property, which actually comes with a felony charge. And here filed in district court earlier today. Around 2:30 p.m. on February 5th, troopers at the Minnesota State Capitol in St. Paul, Ramsey County, were alerted to a criminal damage of property incident that occurred on Capitol property. An art installation made of large blocks of ice that read "Prosecute ICE" was on permitted display on the Capitol grounds between 6:30 a.m. and 11 p.m. on February 5th, 2026. The Common Defense Organization had paid $6,250 to a local artist to create the ice sculpture. The group had paid an additional $600 to have the ice sculpture removed after its permitted placement time lapsed. A man dressed in camouflage, later identified as Edward Jacob Lang, vandalized an ice sculpture. Lang kicked over and destroyed the letters SECUTE, so the sculpture read "Pro Ice." Lang got into a Ram pickup and left the area. Troopers stopped the Ram and identified Lang as the man who had damaged the sculpture. Lang identified himself with his Florida license. Lang said he was on the Capitol grounds exercising his First Amendment right to artistic expression. When asked if he had damaged an ice sculpture, Lang said the sculpture was made of ice and could not sustain its structure. Lang said he recorded the incident and posted it to his social media account. Troopers determined that Lang's criminal damage exceeded the felony threshold, and they arrested Lang. Lang was placed in a squad and asked a cohort to take a photo of him. The trooper advised Capitol Security Dispatch to save the video of the incident, and Lang replied that he had great video of the incident. Lang asked to be placed in protective custody at the jail. Oh god. So this guy, Jake is rumored to be a Mossad plant. Do you have dirt? My take on Jake Lang is that he's not a Mossad plant. He's a dipshit who's trying to grift. Like, that's my read on him. My read is he came here so that he could make provocative content that would attract the MAGA hogs, and then have like some kind of GoFundMe that would allow him to make, $100,000 like that lady who said the N-word, And so like that's why he's so desperate to like be like, yes, I have great video of the incident. Like he's trying to he's trying to grift, and he's not very successful at it, and it's very funny to see. Oh, in Minnesota, it's a first-degree criminal charge. First-degree criminal damage to property is a felony punishable by up to 5 years in prison and or a $10,000 fine. It applies when intentional non-consensual damage exceeds $1,000. So, yeah, he screwed up a little bit here, and remains to be seen exactly how favorably a Minnesota judge will look on him, a man who came here as a white nationalist agitator who then openly and brazenly destroyed public property in an effort to gain social media clout. We'll see how a judge here looks on that. But also, when he's arrested, he has to be asked to be placed in protective custody because he's a white nationalist, and he will get his ass beat in the jail if he's not in protective custody. Like, people here hate this guy. He's the worst. And like, I don't think any of his defenses of artistic expression are really going to hold up in court. Let's see. Lang declined a custodial statement, but he asked to convey a message to the prosecuting attorney. I was creating art. I was exercising my First Amendment right to artistic expression. Lang again said what he did would be posted on social media. Complainant notes that the First Amendment does indeed protect artistic expression, the creation and display of an ice sculpture, for example. The First Amendment does not, however, provide protection against damaging someone else's property. Oh god. I just this guy has really screwed up. So I hope it was worth it for him. Anyway, I just like knowing that a lot of bad people are slowly starting to realize The entire world hates them. When they exist in their little hateful bubbles, they are not, in fact, beloved by all the world. They are, in fact, hated by almost every single person. These wretched, bigoted pieces of filth and scum are reviled, you know? And they can operate within their own little circles where, you know, the bigotry is normalized. But by and large, people hate Jake Lang. People hate Greg Bovino. People hate JD Vance. These people, these avatars of the hatefulness of this administration are just absolutely reviled. And that is going to come with consequences that will last long after the present moment has passed. Like, I don't think necessarily these people stop and consider or get introspective about what they're doing, you know? Or if they do, it's all delusion, right? Like, Jake Lang, I'm sure, sits back and thinks about, like, the possibility of, like, oh yes, we'll create the white nationalist utopia, you see, and everything will be perfect. And, like, I'm sure JD Vance is just like, and then I'll be president and everything will be right. I'll do it all my way, not Trump's way. But, like, it's just not going to play out that way. There's no world in which they get what they want and live, like, a peaceful, happy life. There's no world in which Greg Bovino is just like a normal dude who exists in a community that doesn't hate him. You know? And, like, these people all are all just pants-shittingly awful. I mean, like, Jake Lang is just reviled. Here he is when he tried to do his white nationalist march and only, like, 3 dudes showed up.
Run! And fuck you, Nazi! Fuck you, Nazi!
Literally, the amount of camera people and the amount of counter protests just dwarfs. It's the same dipshit. Yeah, it's the same guy. The same guy who got egged and then ran home and jumped into an Uber. He had to have... what I'm sure was very embarrassing for him after he got egged and pissed himself. He was escorted out of the crowd by a Somali man who got him into his Uber and told him, get the fuck out of here. And, like, it turned out his Uber was driven by these 2 ladies in the front seat who didn't know who he was, and a couple blocks later realized who he was and kicked him out of the car. Like, God. It's so fucking funny. Like, dude really thought, oh, I'll just show up as a Nazi and, like, it'll be fine. It'll be super cool. Everyone will love this. One of the ladies was trans. Bless. I appreciate the representation of my people. Anyway, I just think good things are possible, you know? I think good things are possible.
Riverboat Jack is going to town. All the viewers gather around. Twitch and YouTube is where she streams. All that content is bursting the seams. Politics, gaming, and plenty more. Her sense of fashion you'll adore. So grab your stuff and hop aboard. We're going straight to Jack's Discord. Riverboat Jack.